Hi everyone, Carolyn first. Here's what happened in Carolyn Talks podcast. So this question is for Akira, Coco, Jabari, Olly, and Cassandra. So one of the things that's really interesting to me about the show is how it explores the relationships and the dynamics of Black children and their parents. And I think this does it to me in a more mature and realistic way than the first show did, in that it's very rooted in what is happening with regards to social commentary now, and like it doesn't just skate past the topics. So for each of you, can you talk about how each of the kids' relationships with the parents is going to progress throughout the show? Because right now at the beginning, it's a little bit back and forth. Like the kids are finding their independence, and the Black parents are like, we want you to achieve the goals that we want for you, and the kids are like, nah, I want to do my own thing.
I will say for me, my journey with Viv, my mom, definitely goes through a interesting bit of tension. I think they butt heads because they're so similar in a way, like they're both creatives. But my mom, Viv, in the show, she kind of like steers towards a different path in the name of like creating a better life for her kids so they don't have to struggle. And then it seems like I'm kind of going against all that she sacrificed to create this whole new path that's kind of unconventional and intimidating. So we go through some interesting tension. And with my dad, Uncle Phil, I just finesse him, okay? Like, I know how to manipulate, okay, for sure. But I think at the end of the day, the overall themes from both of my parents is they just want to understand me. Like, even though I make it difficult for them because I'm so headstrong, like, they still try, you know?
I love the relationship between Carlton and specifically his father, because it's a relationship of reverence and but just this need to please him, because he recognizes how much his father has achieved, right? And that sort of wears on him as much as it does push him. And so, I think there's also something very powerful about showcasing a relationship between a Black father and a Black son on TV, where where there is love there, and they have moments of this later on in the season of really coming together and just having of being really emotionally supportive of each other, which, to be honest, is something I don't think I see very much on TV. Two Black men just being emotionally supportive of each other, and so I think that's beautiful representation. I'm excited for people to see that.
Yeah, I think in general, like me and Uncle Phil, I love that line in the show when he says, well, me and your mom, we step as one. I so love that, because I'm like, that's exactly what you'd hope in a family. That's like the great American family is like two minds that are together. And then we try our best to, instead of telling our kids what they're not, we try to remind them of who they are and who they can be in life. And so even though there's that scene where Carlton and Will are both working me and the dad of like, okay, what about if you give me a trip to Monaco or flying Trey, then I'll, try to collaborate and work with so-and-so. It's like, yeah, do that. But it might look like they're working us, but actually we also know for them to actually work together, they'd actually have to compromise and collaborate, and they might actually find common ground. So I just love how they love, and also really love how Viv embraces Will for who he is as well, not for who he's not. You don't hear her say, pull up your pants, stop talking that way. Instead, she's like, oh, I just love how you talk. Like, he's unapologetically himself. And him being that way actually wakes her up. And I think that's what parenting is. It's like the truer your kids are, the more it wakes you up. And then about Hillary, you try your best with kids, you gotta wash your hands. I'm joking. And with Hillary and me are so much alike, but it's really just a generational issue of like, what does it mean to succeed today? And I'm from a generation where you assimilate, you try to, make the edges softer, and you go to college and you say, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. And this girl over here, she do the opposite, but that's very much centered in how this generation is, but every generation evolves above and beyond the last generation. So I think it's beautiful, because I think people can see how, oh, it's just communication. They just need a translator is all,
Yeah, I think Cassie said it beautifully. I think both parents speak life into their children. You know what I mean? And it's definitely, it's definitely something to navigate for Will. He grew up with a single mom, only child, and he's always wanted brothers and sisters. And so being in this family, it's really special to him, but he's still trying to figure out who he is, and he doesn't want to lose that. And so it's really beautiful to see each one of these characters' dynamic shift and to see how they grow because Will has come into the house, and to see how Will grows because they are who they are. And yeah.
I think, well, not I think, but one of my favorite qualities of Ashley is that she's always down to listen to people. I feel like she can listen to anyone's problems and kind of help them, even though she may disagree. She's not very judgmental. And so, when her mom wants her to do something, she may disagree, but she's not gonna argue back because she loves her family and she wants them to stay together. So.
Great. Thank you so much, and congratulations on a very successful first season, I believe.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.